And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals, the global qualifier. We have our fresh best of 3 quarterfinals match. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Zoun. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, Krystianer, we did feature him last night during the European and Americas qualifier, and Krystianer was a part of the series of the night. The highlight series last night was the Spirit versus Krystianer. Went all the way to the ace match, and honestly, it should have gone Krystianer's way, but it barely slipped through his fingers. He came so close to qualifying for the main event, and he was robbed of it. We'll see if he can get his revenge. We'll see if he can make a deeper run. I mean, already making it to the quarterfinals is impressive. We'll see how he compares to Zoun. We have seen these two go back and forth in the past. Again, they both competed in our own events in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, but now they're here in the LiuLi Cup instead. Also, Krystianer, he no longer has that tuna advantage, that tuna buff, if you will. Can he make it through? We're here for it. Personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I do think these two players are much closer in skill here. Krystianer, he is on the upper echelons of European Protoss, like was, of course, Zoun, coming back from the military. What I will emphasize, though, something that I said previously, is that Zoun's weakest matchup is PvZ. PvP is one of his strongest. We have seen Zoun take down every other Korean Protoss player out there. I'm referring to Hero, Classic, Creator, Trap. They've all fallen at one point or another to Zoun over the past couple of months. So he is no slouch. He is definitely a threat here in this matchup to any Protoss player. And we'll see how Krystianer will approach this. Here we go. Also, share my papi, share my. As ever, we have our 2-gate opener, 2-gate opener out of Zoun, 2-gate opener out of Krystianer as well. We have our initial units of choice. It's going to be Stalker, Sentry for both sides. Krystianer just trying to delay the expansion for as long as he can. Going for the pylon block, and we'll get the hell out of there. We'll pull away. Back at home, Krystianer going to be taking the faster expansion. Zoun going to be behind by a couple of seconds. Nothing too major, just a slight differential. As we do see Zoun forced to take up a little bit faster, instead going for the Twilight Council before expand into faster blink, or even potentially DTs. So it does take up a little bit faster. Meanwhile, Krystianer moving out with his own hallucination scouts. Should get eyes on the tech of choice. Zoun likewise moving out as well. And it is going to be the Twilight Council from Krystianer as well, but of course a later Twilight Council. So there is going to be a small period in time here where Zoun has blink over his opponents, but nothing too major. Krystianer does confirm, does get eyes on the researching building, is aware. Is aware of what's going on. And again, welcome to modern PvP. It's all about the hallucinations. It's all about those sentry openers. So again, triple sentry is the standard in this matchup, especially with energy overcharge. You should have non-stop hallucinations to scout to make sure there's no hidden tech, no gateway explosion, no dark shrine, for example, hidden stargate, earlier robo, earlier third base. It's all about the scouting, all about the hallucinations. So in PvP, it's quite difficult to hide tech from your opponent. You have to rely on proxies, of course. And even then, still is a difficult thing to do. Hallucination confirms saturation, confirms link, and make sure there's nothing else in the main. Speaking of there being nothing else, hello, we do see Zoun setting up a proxy pylon across the map. I would imagine just for a gateway, just to reinforce, and to try and deny the third base. Speaking of, third is on the way. So Krystianer is going to be the first to expand, and Zoun is soon to move out, going for the gold. Okay. Yeah, my attention. There's a proxy gateway. So Zoun is going to be on, I believe, a 3-gate. Yeah, he's going to be on a 3-gate setup. Robo's on the way. Krystianer going for an earlier robo into potentially earlier immortal production. But last Krystianer, he is not aware of the proxy. And here comes the move out. So Zoun, he will take the gold. I believe Krystianer, he did see the army knocking down the rocks. And I love that Krystianer, he does knock down those rocks ahead of time, gaining access to the center of the map. And with the hallucination, it will confirm. Does confirm the expansion.
Research is done. Let's hope you click the right one.
Let's go. Krystianer rocking TB, rocking Total Biscuit as an announcer. Again, I think he's the only one. The only player that I've noticed, at least, to ever use Total Biscuit. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So far, Krystianer dancing with the army. Shield battery is done. So I'm going to be poking in. Oh. Going for the sentry. He gets one. He gets both. Burn sentry is going down. Shield battery's out of energy. And Krystianer is being overwhelmed. Remember, he was down in gateways and down in stalkers. Whereas the Immortal never did begin one. And no Immortal production there from Krystianer. Instead, he's across the map. He's going to be harassing, getting some probe kills. He's barely holding on. Gateways are still on the way. They force a recall. Oh my god. Okay, Krystianer, he forces the recall back home due to the Adept Trust. 5 probes going down. Krystianer taking a 4th. Still has yet to scout the proxy. And Zoun still has a larger army. He's still up in stalkers. And last Krystianer still needs a little bit more time to make use of his own production. To make use of his economy. Krystianer poking in. Trying to reinforce. Charge is still not done here for either player. Still a couple of seconds away. Do you have a recall back home? And that's a shade into the mineral line. Krystianer out of position. Probes are going down. There's going to be a lot of damage. There we go. Charge is done. Krystianer, he breaks out. Back at home, he does defend. Does clean up those adepts. Now Krystianer going for the counterattack. So for a couple of stalkers. Wants to make sure he deals with the proxy first. And then it's going to be on Krystianer to punish the gold. Again, even though Krystianer's up in probes, and even though he's on 4 bases, the gold base does make up for that. Zoun getting supply blocked. Oh, that is a brutal supply block. 3 pylons are just now in the way. That's 5 pylons. Jesus, 5 pylons being thrown down. Zoun, he cannot make anything. He cannot warp in. And Zoun is falling behind. Krystianer, he may just have enough. I mean, the Zealots can't really add anything here to the main fight. Oh, the pylons are finishing. Zoun, he breaks free. He's now able to warp in. Immortals and Archons. And despite having that supply advantage, Krystianer, he's not able to make use of it, not yet. There we go, he does knock down those rocks. How many Zealots does he have? 26. 26 Zealots, no gases at the natural, the 3rd or the 4th. Just reinforcing with pure Zealot. There are 2 Archons though. Archons, they do quite a bit of AoE. Army dives in. And we do see Krystianer trying to focus on the Archons. He gets 1. Brings down 1 Archon. Gets the other. Both of them do fall, but Zoun, he's holding. Yeah, he is holding on. It took a lot of volleys to bring down the Archons. It's going to be a kill in the expansion. Nexus goes down. But Zoun holds. Zoun, he's holding on, morphing in another Archon. I mean, again, it's thanks to the Archons that he was able to survive. They do so well against Mass Zealot. You can be up 20 supply of Zealots, and man, if you have 2 Archons, you're good. You're good to go. As Zoun attempts to counterattack. Black Rat's Prism goes down. Nice defense here out of Zoun. Does save the gold. He's keeping up. We should soon be seeing gases here from Krystianer. Just now taking another expansion. And going for the 6th. Does get behind the mineral line. Main army gets spotted. And do we commit to the base raid? Zoun, he doesn't turn around. He keeps going. Does force a cancel. Krystianer pushing in. He avoids the gold, going for the kill, going for the production. Yeah, we're going for the full base trade. Pylons are going to be going down. Gateway's being depowered. Krystianer, can he warp in? Probes are going down. Likewise, busts into the mineral line. Zealots, they wreak havoc here at the third or at the natural. Likewise, Zoun pushing into the main as well. Going for the pylons. Krystianer, he is up in upgrades. He has +2. And +2 should be denied for Zoun. Zoun, he still has another base up and running. I believe Krystianer, he has not seen it. Oh, he doesn't know. Does know about the expansion. Krystianer, he evacuates. Saves some probes. He can't afford an expansion. But all his buildings are going down. And Krystianer, he still hasn't checked. He still doesn't know. And the mineral line gets saved. Yeah, probes, they get away. Zoun, he escapes. We'll lose a bunch of buildings. Then we go back up next. Let's here for Krystianer. And how are the armies looking? So Krystianer, he's up in supply, but it's purely Stalker Zealot. Pure Stalker Zealot. Meanwhile, Zoun has a more complex army. When I say that though, 1 Archon, 1 Immortal. He is otherwise down in Zealots. Oh, wait, no, my apologies. Up in Zealots, actually. 31 to 21. Krystianer mainly heavily reliant here on these Stalkers instead. Krystianer, now he knows. He has spotted the expansion. Final building here for Zoun. Now, Krystianer, his main base is still up and running. Somewhat. He can try to repower his buildings. Oh, he's exposing his own Nexus, though. Yeah, missed movement here from Krystianer. Probes are going down. Has to rotate back around. Zoun taking the gold. But the boys are being pulled. Can Krystianer break through this, though? Stalkers, they do focus on the Archon. Archon goes down, but the Zealots, they melt. Yeah, the Zealots of Krystianer, they do fall. Does he have enough Stalkers? Boys are being pulled. And Krystianer is getting cornered. Again, remember, there is still that 1 Immortal. But there are so many Stalkers for Krystianer. He should have enough. And from here, can dive on the army. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he takes game number 1. GG. Krystianer coming out on top in that base trade, does take the first game, does take a lead in the series. GG. GG will play a very intense game state there. Again, Zoun, he got away with an unscattered base, that is true, but he had no production, he couldn't warp in, he couldn't reinforce. Likewise, Krystianer, he did have the greater supply, he had the larger army overall when the base trade did commence. GG. GG, well played. Krystianer takes a lead, and now we are... we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting into game 2, it's going to be on King's Cove. So I just didn't want to get left behind. Didn't want to get left behind here. And King's Cove is going to be a larger map. It is a larger map. It is more defendable on 3 bases. The 4th base is a lot more exposed. There's also a lot of locations for proxies. We could see something more aggressive here. We could see some all-ins early on. We'll see. Keep an eye on our 2 players here. See how Zoun adjusts. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of King's Cove, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Offside Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Zoun. And again, personally, I would love to see an ace match between these 2 players. I'd love for this to go all the way to game 3. But the pressure is on Zoun. We'll see what he goes for. All in all, last game we had some nice moves out of Zoun. I do think that a pivotal moment in the previous game in game 1 was when Zoun was forced to recall. I do think that was maybe an overreaction out of Zoun. Remember, it was 2 Adepts. It was 2 Adepts wreaking havoc in the natural and then shading into the main. And Zoun, he was up like I want to say 6 or 7 Stalkers. He was up in Stalkers, he was trying to bully the third base, and then he recalled. And I do think that, again, if there weren't any Adepts, or if he had a cleaner defense back at home, he could have committed there and potentially overwhelmed the third and potentially even ended the game, or at least taken a lead from there. If you remember though, he did recall back home despite having the larger army, and Krystianer, he was able to buy enough time to secure his third base and eventually take a fourth. Take a fourth and secure himself from there. Take an economic lead. But now though, calming things down. Getting into game 2. So far no proxies, both players do scout each other. Second pylons get scouted, and everyone knows that there is no proxy. So far everything is where it should be. Just 2 gate openers, 2 pylons in the main, and getting into our initial units of choice. Should be Stalker Sentry. Oh, Krystianer, cheeky move. Sentry, and he's skipping a second unit. And why is he skipping the second unit? For a faster expansion. So Krystianer, he is cutting corners. He's being greedy, going for a faster Nexus. Meanwhile, Zoun opening up standard Stalker Sentry. As Krystianer should soon be cancelling that shield battery. And then throwing down the expansion. There's a cancel. Probe goes down. Across the map, Krystianer does pylon block. And there's the expansion. So again, a bit of a greedier start out of Krystianer. Zoun going for, once again, a Twilight Council before Nexus. I mean, he's forced into it because of the pylon block, true. So Zoun will once again have faster blink. We saw that last game this led into a proxy gateway into 3-gate blink stalkers with quite an assertive style. We'll see if we can do it again. Back at home, Krystianer also opening up Twilight Council a little bit later. As hallucinations do move out. Meanwhile, shout out to Kalasi there. Oh my god. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good morning. Good New Year. Hope you're doing well. Ay, ay, ay. As we are settling in. Speaking of, I mean, I know it is quite, it's not the most ideal time in the Americas. It is a bit of a shame that we didn't see Astray here today. Astray, he was here yesterday for the European / Americas qualifier, despite it being just a really rough time in the Americas. Unfortunately, we don't see Astray here today. Would have been nice, though. Would have been nice to have seen him. I mean, instead we have Trigger, right? We have Trigger fighting to compete for that qualifying spot. We do have some NA representation. It's Canada. It's basically the Americans. It's fine. It's the same thing. Ay, ay, ay. Hallucination dips in. Gets eyes on the third. Zoun, even though he took a later expansion, going for a much faster third base. So Zoun cutting his own corners. And Krystianer is aware. Does see the timing of the third and now going for his own. Here we go. As we do see Krystianer, he knows that he is behind when it comes to the third base timing, so he's moving out to try to punish and try to force a cancel. We'll see what he can get done. Does hallucinate some of the stalkers. Cute move. We'll see if he can scare Zoun and if he can try to force a better engage. As he does move forward, expansion does complete. Stalkers moving in. Krystianer spots the very real army and he backs off. He's like, okay, we're good. Oh, really? It was a distraction. Adept say shade into the mineral line. Oh my god, probes are going down. He gets 5, he gets 6, and he gets 7. Oh, we'll shade away, shading into, oh, not quite towards the main. Shading back towards the mineral line, getting almost another worker. Is cleaned up. But very nice moves here by Krystianer. Again, moving out to distract his opponent, get 6 probes. And Krystianer does take a lead. He is ahead in workers, once again working towards +1, working towards charge. Now Krystianer, he typically isn't really one to deviate too much. If you remember last game, Krystianer, he stayed on 4 gases, or he stayed on a very low gas count. I think it was only 2 gases for a long time actually, but low gas count into mass charge load early on, then into a more stalker heavy composition. We expect the same thing here in game 2. There's the gateway explosion. We have 5 gates on the way. That's going to be 7 in total. It's going to be 8 in total. Oh my god. So 8 gateways on 3 bases. No gases at the third. No gases at the natural. Hallucination does confirm. And with that, once again, Krystianer is going for a much more heavy Zealot composition. And immediately, Temple Archives. Temple Archives on the way. We saw how well Archons can be used to defend against this. All it takes is a handful of Archons and good positioning, and Zoun should be okay. As Zoun is taking extra gases to afford that. Krystianer knows he's been scouted, taking a 4th. Getting another expansion. Now just scouting each other. War Prism's on the way. And we'll see what Krystianer can get done as he will soon move out. Throwing down even more gates. Jesus. How many gates do we have? He's getting up to 12. 12 gates set up here for Krystianer. And again, who needs gas? Who needs it? Don't need gas here in PvP. Just pure Zealot, baby. Aye, aye, aye. I mean, warping and stalkers, of course, with what gas he has. He's going to be reinforcing with those charge slots. Army moves out. Zoun is aware, getting in position. He's got his first Archon. Second Archon's morphing in. Here comes that War Prism. Again, warping in 10 Zealots. The 2 gateways are just now finishing up for that 12-gate setup. Army dives in. Nice force fields. But Zoun, he's zoned away from his own expansion. 4th base under fire. Zoun rotates around. We need another warp in though. Krystianer, he does not have enough. Here's him looking a bit exposed. Krystianer, he does defend. He does target down the first Archon. 1 Archon goes down. Krystianer is forced to engage, and he's able to barely take down the second Archon. That means no Archons left. No Archons remaining. More cells coming in to reinforce. Krystianer gets off the base. The 4th base goes down. Massive pickup. And Krystianer, the mass gateway man, is going to be able to overwhelm. Again, the Archon just now begins. There's 3 immortals, though. That's a lot of immortals. Likewise, there's no way for Krystianer to break the force fields. Archon does complete. The sentry's out of position. He gets in. He goes to the dive, does start down the first Archon. Archon goes down, the Immortals thereafter. And Krystianer, has he done it? Oh, I think he has. It's getting close though, there's still more Immortals. Another Immortal does come in to reinforce. The Stalker army's running out. And Zoun is holding. Zoun, he is holding on. He takes down all the Zealots, he shuts down the Stalkers, and Krystianer, he plummets in supply. Again, Zoun reinforcing just barely in time with those extra Immortals. He holds. Zoun, he holds on. Krystianer, he backs off, taking another expansion. Still no extra gases, but what's scary here for Krystianer, what I'm most concerned by, is that last game he was able to build up his Stalker count over time. Now he threw away his Stalkers. He threw them away and he's down to 4. There's 4 Stalkers. He lost 17. Down to 4 Stalkers, purely Zealot. And Krystianer is being outscaled. Basically, this style from Krystianer, it's pretty all-in. Like, it's pretty committed. It sounds weird to say that it's all-in, considering how many bases he has, but, like, tech-wise, there's nothing else here, right? Like, there's no Archons or Disruptors or Immortals. It's just purely Zealot Stalker. And even though Zoun's army is smaller, it's more well-refined, and it's more efficient, and it will outscale Krystianer. Speaking of, first Disruptors on the way. The bay is done, Disruptors are coming. The longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Zoun. And Krystianer, he will come across that first Disruptor. I say that, never goes up. Takes down the Zealot. Warp has been to the main, going for a massive warp in. The warp in is denied, just barely. Warp in does not complete. Krystianer rotates over towards the 4th. Can he not get down? He cannot. And Zoun, once again, he will hold on. They'll save the expansion. Archon looking exposed. More reinforcements on the way. Krystianer once again does take a supply lead. Oof. But that's 4 Archons. Jesus. 4 Archons and 2 Disruptors. And this is where the soup does lie, right? Krystianer, he's up in supply, but this army is greater here for Zoun. Goes up. I mean, that is a sea of zealots. It's a terrifying army. The swarm is here. There goes a lot of. Oh my god, massive connection. The zealots they evaporate. And then Nova goes off. Once again connects. Not as great this time. Krystianer, he's diving in. Going for the dive. He'll try to target down whatever he can. Takes down all the disruptors, but he's running out of zealots. He's running out of steam. Massive Nova goes off. And Zoun, he holds. He will hold on. He will look to tie up this series. As Krystianer, he almost has nothing left. Down to a handful of Stalkers. And Zoun, he's still got his Archon, still has a Disruptor, still has 2 Immortals behind this as well. Warping gets denied. Prism goes down. Krystianer, he has to race back home. Again, he just cannot keep up with this. Not anymore. So we'll move forward. Oh, once again, the nose buying a lot of time. Again, fool me once. Where after game 1, Zoun recognized kind of what was lacking. Again, just hyper-fixated, hyper-prioritizing just purely Immortal production, Archon production down to Disruptors. Getting into these high-tech units and just outscaling Krystianer over time. Now, there is still a chance. If Krystianer can somehow get on top of this army and get on top of the Disruptors without the Novas going off, then maybe, but even then. Krystianer, he has to commit. Nova once again, massive connection on the Zealots. Krystianer, he's just running out of army. He can only rely on this stuff for so long. As from here, Zoun can just counterattack. He can just keep on pushing. Chase out what little is left. There's 3 Disruptors behind this. Oh! Oh my god. Does avoid the Nova. 2 more Novas going up. Aye. And there is definitely a chance, especially if Krystianer can maybe get into a mineral line, if he can bypass the main army and try to pull apart the attention of Zoun, then maybe. I mean, nice pickoffs. Getting an Immortal, getting an Archon, getting another. Novas don't quite connect. Another Disruptor goes down. Zoun panicking a little bit there. Throws out all his Novas. Just a bit of panic out of Zoun, despite that reinforcements are warping in. Zoun still has the greater concave. Forces back Krystianer. I mean, that was an impressive fight from Krystianer, but it's still not enough. The Prism goes down. War Prism does fall. Krystianer, he's still warping in. 13 Zealots at a time. I mean, again, it is quite a cheap army for Krystianer. Taking more bases. Can he still pull this off? I mean, as I mentioned before, like, there is a scenario where if Zoun miscontrols like we saw, right? Like we saw in that previous fight. If he fumbles the Novas, if he panics. Krystianer can trade well, picking up a couple of Zealots. Collapsing the army, Nova goes off. Oh, the blink, oh my god, blinks into a Nova. And the trade's just a little bit too rough here. And Zoun, he will just keep taking these fights. GG gets called and Zoun ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. And again, this is the same style that we've seen from Krystianer 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row going Mass Stalker into Mass Charge Lot off of only 2 gases. Just a very low gas income here from Krystianer. But I don't expect to see this in game 3, or at least I hope not to see this in game 3. Clearly, Zoun, he is getting more and more accustomed to it. He's able to have a bit of response, able to out-trade, able to just skyrocket ahead, of course. Was able to scout, confirm, get into Archon production as quickly as possible. Immortals as well. GG. GG, well played. I don't expect to see that again here from Krystianer, but we'll see. We're here to find out, as we're loading into the final game of the series, the Ace match. Here we go. And the Ace match is going to be on a much larger map in the map pool, much more defendable map, Abyssal Reef. And especially on Abyssal Reef, I hope not to see this kind of mass swarm toss style of mass charge ult, mass stalker, mass gateway. I don't see this being anywhere near as effective, especially on this map. As this map, it's known for its defense, known for its more turtle style, or just favoring turtle play. So I feel like Krystianer, he has to take a different approach coming into the Ace match. We'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, it looks like the rest of the bracket is progressing. We have some updates. Bjorn takes down Young Yakov 2-0. Trigger takes down Ryung 2-0. And we have a TvP between Bjorn and Trigger in the upper semifinals. Best of luck. Best of luck to those players, as the winner will advance on to a qualifying match. Meanwhile, we're focusing on our match, our series. The winner goes up against either Creator or Goblin. We are in the PvP portion of the bracket. And currently, it's purely Protoss and 1 Terran, no Zerg. It's Bjorn. It's Bjorn surrounded by Protoss. We'll see how good his TvP is. We shall see. Likewise, amongst all our competitors, who has the best Protoss versus Protoss? Oh boy. I mean, I think I would go as far as to say that Trigger has the best PvP amongst all the current Protoss players in the tournament. But, I mean, Trigger's not up against a Protoss. He's up against a Terran. Best of luck. Here we go. We're getting into the Ace match, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports, being forced into the Ace match. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, tying up the series 1-1 and forcing the Ace match. Can he keep going? He has momentum on his side. It is Zoun. We go. Welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Again, this map is a very defendable map. We've seen a lot of late game on this map. As a result, what I'm referring to is how defendable the natural is. There's a narrow ramp coming into the natural. Likewise, the third base is quite secure as well. The fourth, the fifth base. Your 5 base setup here is very tight-knit. It's very consolidated, very close together. It is a little bit easier here to rotate between your 5 bases, to defend them, to protect them, and to get up in towards a longer game state. So we do often see a lot more mid to late game on Abyssal Reef, but we're getting into a PvP. And PvP can be a lot more chaotic, can be a lot more active, and yeah, we could see a player try to be more aggressive here and try to avoid that kind of mid to late game setup. We'll see. We shall see. In general, again, because how defendable you can be on these bases and on this map, I hope that Krystianer doesn't go for that mass swarm toss style again. Clearly, I mean, it has its cases, it has its uses, and we saw it just work quite well in Game 1. But likewise, we saw Zoun adapt in Game 2, so I'm not too confident about that kind of style in Game 3. We will see. Here we go. As we do have a double adept opener. Interesting. Double adept here by Krystianer. Going to be moving out across the map to harass in the mineral lines. We'll see what he can get done. Meanwhile, Stalker Sentry out of Zoun. Meanwhile, Krystianer just doubling down on the aggression. Double Adept into Stargate, which means it's going to be Adept Harass alongside Oracle Harass as well. So a much more aggressive start to the game here for Krystianer, as his own natural is going to be delayed. The pylon block is going to confirm the Double Adept, so Zoun is aware. Should be getting ready. Back at home, Zoun is the first to expand. And you can see Zoun is looking for proxies. He's looking for proxies, fanning out his units. You can see here a probe towards top right, Stalker towards bottom left. He is making sure there's no hidden tech, there's no hidden all-in. As Krystianer is forced to take a much later expansion. Adepts shade across the map. Hallucination does confirm. You can see Zoun getting ready. The probe is ready to wall off. Is in position. You know, Twilight Council on the way. Third gateway as well. Quite aggressive here by Krystianer. So a very early third gateway. As one Adept does go down. Nice catch from Zoun. The Adepts haven't paid for themselves yet. Meanwhile, the Oracle has arrived. I believe Zoun is aware. Yep, he did scout the Stargate. Zoun is ready. Shield battery in the main. Stalker Sentry in position. And Zoun has not lost anything yet. So far, so good. Zoun defends. One behind a Dark Shrine. I'm going to say behind. Krystianer, he's invested quite heavily here into the Oracle, into the Adepts, into early game aggression, into a delayed Nexus, and he hasn't really gotten anything for it, so he's now doubling down and going for the Dark Shrine. Now the question becomes detection. How long do we delay the robo? For how long do we delay it here? It is not uncommon for a Protoss player to be greedy and to go for a third base before the robo. As we can see, safe play at Zoun. Safe play does throw down the robo. And Krystianer confirms. Krystianer, he does confirm, he is aware. Oracle dips in, gets 2 probes. But this means that this Dark Shrine should not end the game. There are definitely chances, and if Zoun did delay his robo any further, then he might just end the game, or might just die to the DTs. As now he's taking a third. But alas, with the completion of the robo, there should be an observer. And there should be detection. He scouts! Zoun, he scouts, he confirms, he gets eyes on the Dark Shrine, and he's getting in position. The observer is being chronoed as we speak. And Krystianer is not getting anything done. Not like this. Krystianer's third base is late as a result. Late compared to Zoun's. And things are looking a little bit rough here for the Red Protoss. Again, he's just invested so heavily in aggression, and it just has not paid off. Mortal production has begun for Zoun. Getting to his own forge, his own upgrades. Now, there's still potential here for Krystianer. There is still potential, but he has to rely here on the army moving out. DT waddles in, gets a probe. Gets 2. And has to get the hell out of here. Again, he dips in, gets 2 probes, dips out. Like, slow damage over time is what Krystianer is hoping for at this point. Oracle into the main, Stasis Trap goes off, getting 3 probes, not bad. And this is all slowly adding up. Krystianer is getting there, getting a 4th base, taking gases. Unlike previously, he's taking extra gases, kind of forward further tech. Of course, she gets cleaned up. Zoun, he does defend. Still trying to catch up in his own worker count. Temple Archives on the way for Zoun, working towards Archons, building up his own gateway army. And Krystianer, he has yet to really tech up in any major direction. Sure, he has charge and +1, but no further tech than that. Not yet. There we go, Rover's on the way. Krystianer staying on a relatively low gateway count compared to previously. Building up back at home. Getting his 4th fully saturated. Bays on the way for Zoun, rushing into Disruptor production. Very similar to Geralt. Very similar. As Krystianer moves out. Quite heavily reliant here on purely Blink Stalker. And if you recall, I was praising Krystianer for taking a gas geyser here, but it's only just the one gas. It's still very heavily gateway focused. Okay. He's doing it again. I mean, he got here in a very different way. Very different way. But still just purely Zealot Stalker. Does poke in. Some rough moves there by Krystianer, taking another expansion. Probes are going down to Zealot Harass. Quite a lot of economic damage, actually. 5 probes falling. Krystianer, he attempts to trade, bleeding out more Stalkers. Going for the Archons, he gets one. Going for the other. Doesn't quite get it, though. Instead, going for the expansion, one more volley. What a us? Oh, barely does get it. He has to get the hell out of here. Krystianer, he does retreat. Reinforces just in time. Picking up Zealots. Going for the final Archon. Going for the second Archon. Nicely done. Krystianer trading well. And he might be able to get the expansion for a second time. Could go for it. Now reinforcing once again. +2 is almost done for Krystianer. I'll spoke in. Yeah, he's going for the Nexus. Once again, forces a cancel. Does force a cancel. Getting into the middle line. Probes are going down. Krystianer trading well. Rotating once again towards the low ground. Denying the 4th. Home, Krystianer, he holds. Poking in once again, picking up another Archon. Doesn't have much support though. Gonna have to retreat. It barely does fall back. But Krystianer is trading well. Did I speak too soon? Down, he does blink forward. Pushing back the Stalkers. Krystianer double expanding, getting top right and taking the center base as well. More bases, likewise down double expanding as well. So I'll say distracted on the right hand side. Krystianer poking in. Running into Immortals. There's 3, soon to be 4 Immortals here for Zoun. Stasis gets baited out. Nicely done. Zoun collapsing on the main army, where the charge lots are a little bit too late. Expensive losses here for Krystianer, bleeding out some Stalkers. Does get one of the Archons, but the Immortals are holding their own. And Krystianer, he has to retreat. I say that he's going to be reinforcing. He's going to try to break through. Won't quite be able to. Trying to collapse in. The Immortal's looking a little bit more exposed. Taking a lot of hits. One Immortal goes down. He gets 1. He gets 2. The Nova. Oh my god. Clutch blink out of Krystianer. does avoid the Nova. These have been better trades. Zoun, he once had 4 Immortals, now he's down to 2. And he lost his Disruptor. And with only 2 Immortals, Krystianer smells blood in the water. He goes to the dive, he gets 1. Going for the other. Yeah, takes down both Immortals, does focus on the Archon as well. Krystianer just barely being forced back. Zealot right across the map, denies the warp in. Up once again, another warp in gets denied. Krystianer, he can't spend his money. Ay. He's gonna be forced back as Zoun buys some precious breathing room. Krystianer backs up. And Zoun's holding. He's barely holding on. War Prison coming in to harass once again. Krystianer focusing on its bush. Trading Stalkers. Army's forced to recall. Oh, can he get the Prism? Oh, not quite. War Prism will survive. Zoun once again trying to buy time. Double expanding. Again, Zoun has been stuck on 3 bases for far too long. But Krystianer, he's the first to max out. And I didn't have faith. I did not have faith in, once again, this kind of swarm toss style. But to be fair, to give Krystianer credit, he got here in a different way. Did get here in a different way this time. And alas, he did a great job at denying this center 4th base time and time again. Nova goes up, does connect. But Krystianer, he can afford to take it. He can just take shots to the face. GG gets called. He overwhelms Zoun, and Krystianer, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Who needs gas? Who needs tech? Who needs anything but zealots and stalkers? GG, well played. Krystianer, he will claim the series, will knock Zoun out of the qualifier. And how will Krystianer compare to some of these other Protoss players? As again, he's purely on the side of the Protoss in this half of the bracket. Let's go.